Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
And so finally it has now all boiled down to this. With Cooler gone, Frieza is now left all alone to fend for himself against an extremely bloodthirsty and angry Vegeta. Every moment that these two have shared, every battle they've waged and every word spoken between them has brought them both here at this exact moment in time. I don't see Goku getting himself involved in this, for Vegeta has made it clear for him to not get in between their battle. But if Vegeta isn't careful, and if he doesn't intend to destroy Frieza immediately, then I'm afraid he will only find himself in grave danger, especially since Vegeta is very well aware of how desperate and unpredictable Frieza can choose to be. We are all hoping for a miracle to shine bright on this world by the time this day is through. But if Frieza somehow manages to reveal something that neither one of them has yet to see, then it'll be the end of everything as they both know it.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of Angel Goku being shown having to completely obliterate Cooler, as this only now just leaves Vegeta open to battle against Frieza by himself, to which upon Vegeta now being shown having to address Frieza was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "After all these years, Frieza, how does it feel knowing that the same monkeys that you look down upon are the very ones who are going to seal your fate? And despite all of your efforts of trying throughout the years, I will not grant you a swift and painless death, Frieza. You don't deserve that mercy, and don't get the wrong idea either, you fool. You are not fighting Kakarot here, Frieza, and therefore, I will not offer you the same chance for redemption like he would. Your fate was sealed the moment you crossed my people, coward. So don't mistake this for just another fight, because this is going to be an execution, and I'm the executioner, Frieza. I was a prince whose destiny was to become king, and you turned me into a slave instead. You've mocked my bloodline and have caused too much pain, and the time for you to pay for each and every single one of your actions is now. You took my childhood and turned it into a living nightmare, Vegeta went on to then continue. And as a child, I had to witness my people be subjected into becoming mindless puppets for you to control. And you drove them all into an early grave while you sat back and watched them all die, you scum. And you laughed while it happened. You enjoyed in watching all of them suffer, didn't you? The scars of my childhood and the wounds that you've inflicted have never healed. But they are, however, what make me who I am that is standing before you today. And the young prince you once knew is gone, replaced by a warrior with only one singular mission: your destruction. And you and I both know that you aren't going to be escaping, and since I'm going to take my time in making sure that you suffer for every bit of what you've done, not even a miracle will save you from what's about to happen here, Frieza. With Frieza then responding, "Why, you rotten, no good, dirty animal. Do you honestly expect for me to believe that this form of yours is going to last all the way through until the very end against me. I don't buy it, Vegeta. You were always second best no matter what it was, Vegeta. You were always second to Goku, second to your father, and most importantly, you were always and will forever always be second to me, Saiyan. I don't fear you. In the years that followed, the universe has long forgotten about your race, Vegeta. And once I'm done with you, they'll forget about you in time as well. I've grown stronger, Saiyan, more than you could ever possibly imagine. And so even if you've climbed the ranks into becoming who and what you are today, to me, you will always be a sniveling little servant of mine, monkey. And no amount of destroyer power will ever come in between us to change that. Ask yourself this: what if you can't manage to get the job done against me, Saiyan? What if you somehow fall short and doom yourself into oblivion? Then what? Well, I'll tell you, Vegeta, then it'll all be destroyed. The cries of your loved ones will be a sweet symphony to my ears once I'm through with you and Goku. There's a sense of poetic justice in the idea of having your family be enslaved to the very being which you oppose. Ironic, don't you think? You and your family are going to feel my wrath decades in the making, Vegeta. But this isn't going to stop here. Oh no. Because I will go on to make sure that those pesky Universe 6 Saiyans are next on my list to destroy Vegeta. And it will be done. My contingency plan to eradicate you all doesn't stop and will not stop until all Saiyans across every corner of every universe are destroyed forever. You Saiyans are not designed to fight forever, and you know it, monkey, whereas me and my kind, on the other hand, are. And that is why we are not the same, Saiyan. I can fight for as long as I need to, whereas you worthless monkeys are limited by your own power. And that's what will be your downfall, Frieza continues. You and your self-healing and ridiculous destructive abilities will not win you the day, especially not now, Vegeta. And do you want to know why you won't win? Because by the time you realize the error of your ways by trying to punish me in battle, you will only be making me stronger in the process. Punishing me by restricting yourself is not the same as having me punish you, just like I did on Namek. Do you remember? You aren't the only one who is looking to inflict pain here, Vegeta. And just like how I ended your life on planet Namek, the same will be done here on Earth as well. And once I walk away as the last one standing between us will be the moment where I will make you watch as this world will burn into an oblivion, just like planet Vegeta once burned with everyone on it. And before I enslave your pathetic children just as I once enslaved you, I will make sure to take great liberty in slaughtering your wife before I slaughter your kids, Vegeta. And I can't wait to hear them scream along the way as they suffer too. Now, I'm not quite sure on if I want to give them all a quick and painless death, or if I should take my time and listen to them beg for mercy, but either way, they're next. And if you think that you have what it takes to outlast what's coming, then you have another thing coming, God Monkey. My brother was only but a piece to this puzzle of mine, and now that we've weakened the two of you, this is where it ends. Now go on and do your worst, Vegeta, because I am going to tear you apart the moment we... But then, it would only now seem as though Vegeta had had enough, because with Vegeta now being shown having to close on in punching Frieza in the face was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "I've heard enough out of that mouth of yours, Frieza. Now let's settle this once and for all," as Beerus went on to then chime in, "Yes, Excellent, Vegeta, just as I taught you. Frieza's tormented that Saiyan for years, and now that Vegeta has finally got a hold of Frieza with nowhere left for him to run off to, Vegeta's vengeance towards Frieza will be a sight to behold, to which upon Vegeta now being shown knocking Frieza away was when Akuma then went on to chime in, well, your bias as being the mortal's teacher aside, God of Destruction, what makes you so sure of your protege's ability to withstand and survive Frieza's onslaught even now that he's more exhausted, with Beerus responding, because despite whether Vegeta is shown to be exhausted or not, his burning desire to annihilate Frieza takes full precedent over anything else, and that is what gives Vegeta the edge in this fight. So this is more than just a fight between them, Beerus continues. It's the universe's way of balancing the scales in seeing which one of them deserves the right to live and which one of them deserves to be destroyed, with Whis chiming in, and under your tutelage, Vegeta has not only grown in strength, but also appears to have grown in his character too. Vegeta's ruthlessness and the power he's wielding now mirrors the very essence of destruction, and your influence is unmistakable, Lord Beerus. And especially in the way Vegeta is shown fighting, it's quite the improvement, and a very good one if I may add. To which upon Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta now shown having to unleash a barrage of attacks on Frieza was when Whis went on to then continue, and after having to take a much closer look, I believe Vegeta's evolution is a testament to both his indomitable will as a warrior and the effectiveness of your training as a god that has created the ultimate fighting machine in Vegeta, and who better than him, of course, with Beerus then responding, indeed, but I want you to level with me here, Whis, and tell me, do you see Frieza winning, or does Vegeta have Frieza's number for good? With Whis responding, well, unless Frieza is able to pull something out of his bag of tricks and try and stop Vegeta in his tracks, then I don't see any other outcome where Vegeta loses this fight to Frieza, my lord. To which all the while as Black Frieza was then shown having to have his back be slammed up against the mountain was when Vegeta then went on to shout, the sound of your screams is like music to my ears, you little worm, and I can't get enough of it because I want to hear you scream some more, you fool. Does it hurt, Frieza? Does it hurt knowing that you are going to die again? Does it? You know, I really like that Saiyan's battle attitude a lot, Yoshido went on to then respond. He definitely reminds me of Budo here, and so now I'm curious on if we'll have the chance to fight this mortal along with Goku if he decides to tag him in against us. But what do you think, Grand Minister? Do you think that we can add the Destroyer Saiyan onto the chopping block against us, or what? Well, although the thought of having Vegeta partake in battle against the Five is certainly an interesting one to consider, the Grand Priest went on to respond, and it's best if we wait and hold off on that answer until this is over, for there is much that needs to be discussed for once this fight is finished. To which within that very moment, as Mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta was now shown cutting right through one of the mountains as Frieza went on to teleport out of the way, was when Vegeta then went on to shout, why, you little weasel, of course you try and avoid me, but you can't run and try and avoid the inevitable forever. You know you can't hide, and so come on out and face what you had coming, coward. But then, it was only unbeknownst to Vegeta now behind him where Black Frieza was shown having to hold up a portion of the mountain up above his head by then responding, the only thing that you and I both know that is inevitable here is the outcome of this battle, which we both know will end with your head firmly planted beneath my feet, monkey. Now why don't you just die already and put an end to your meaningless attempts to destroy me, Vegeta? Not until you are erased from the annals of history, Frieza, and if you think that my end will come as a result of mere rocks being thrown at me, then you have another thing coming, fool. To which as Vegeta was now shown having to effortlessly smash his way through was when Budo then went on to chime in, I know you see it, Akira, and as resilient and as persistent as this Vegeta is, what do you see taking place by the end of this fight? Will the Saiyan be destroyed despite his efforts of making this Frieza pay for his past? Or will the Destroyer Saiyan finally be done with him for good? With Takira responding, the Saiyan will not falter under any of the circumstances that he will find himself in against Frieza, but for as far as I am able to look into this battle, this Frieza will momentarily tap into a surprising level of power that may or may not turn the tides against the Saiyan permanently, depending on if he can sustain it, but we will see. The Saiyan's aim is to punish Frieza by any and all means as a way to atone for the sins of their past, to which upon Frieza now being shown firing multiple unstoppable energy blast was when Frieza then went on to shout, "Oh damn you! What will it take, Vegeta? Why must you continue to defy me? Why won't you just accept your fate and let the universe move on from your tribe of savages? Because fate has laid out a different outcome for our futures this time, Frieza." To which once again, with none of Frieza's energy blast being shown having to have any sort of effect on Vegeta, was when Frieza then went on to quickly respond, But how? Why are none of my attacks having any effect on him? He should be tired, weaker than he was before, so how come he isn't taking any damage? In which, with Vegeta seconds later being shown having to retaliate by kneeing Frieza in the stomach, was when Vegeta then quickly went on to respond, "Because I want you to feel every bit of the pain you've caused as a way for you to pay for the sins of the nightmare that you put me and my people through, coward. The chains you kept wrapped around my neck for years will be the same ones that I used to strangle the life out of you. No, not unless I use them to choke the life out of you first." Frieza then quickly went on to respond, "On my honor, Saiyan, I will stop at nothing to have this moment against you. It was as it was on Namek, and it will be just as it was then now, Vegeta. You died then, and you will die here and now. Wait, what? No. No what, Frieza? What's the matter? I thought you said you'd do to me just as you had once done on planet Namek all those years ago. Well, what's stopping you? Is it fear? It is, isn't it? Because now you're starting to see firsthand that the more damage that my body takes, the stronger I become and the more violent this will get." With Beerus then responding, "That's right, Saiyan, show him what being a student of a destroyer god truly feels like. Rip that fool apart and unleash onto him the full force of everything that I've taught you, Vegeta. Show no mercy, use the essence of who you are at your core and sink your teeth into that monster's soul and rip him apart, Vegeta." That Frieza sure is hammering away, but it doesn't look like it's having much of an effect on the destroyer mortal, which only makes me want to fight this guy that much more, Yoshida went on to then respond. "Well, you might as well just give your hopes up here because our battle is to be concluded with Goku first before anything," Akuma then went on to respond. "So don't even think about charging in down there to fight them," with Vegeta then having to chime in, "Good, that's it. Just like that, Frieza. Go on. I know this isn't all that you can hit me with now, is it? How sad. Maybe, just maybe, if you start begging for your life, I might stop to consider making your death quick, but then again, watching you squirm is far too satisfying. You should thank me after I break you, Frieza, because you won't need to worry about being the emperor of anything once I'm done with you." But it looks like Frieza had enough, because upon Frieza now being shown having to headbutt Vegeta was when Frieza then went on to shout, "Enough, you monkey! I am not your entertainment! Oh, but little do you know that you are, you little rat! And I'm loving every bit of this bloodbath, but tell me, aren't you, Frieza? Isn't this what you wanted? Isn't this why you decided to come back?" To which within that very moment, as Vegeta was now shown retaliating with a headbutt of his own, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, "You should have kept your distance and remained in hiding, because now you will never live to have that chance to plan from the shadows ever again. Not while I'm around." With Whis responding, "Well, I will say that this is quite the personal battle between these two, and to think that it would even come down to this is truly something, but the more Frieza continues to push, the more motivated Vegeta becomes." To which in the meantime, when then making our way back on over to Goku and seeing Goku drop out of his angel form again, was when Goku then went on to say to himself, "Well, this angel form is unlike anything I've ever had the chance to experience before, and so I have to get get better at wielding this power without the need of having to go back into a cooldown period for my body and mind to rejuvenate. And if the angels like Whis can harness this power seamlessly without the need to go into a rest period, then so can I, Goku continues. It's just a matter of time and perseverance before I am able to reach this point of full and absolute control without losing it. And so this cooldown period may be a slight limitation for now, but just like every other form that I was able to master, one day this too will be something that I fully master, especially the more I train with Whis. And as powerful as that angel form was, there is still a long way for me to go, Goku then continues, but at least I know that I was able to do what no other warrior before me could. And so mastering this with full control is my next goal, but I'm not the only one, because Vegeta's evolution is truly beyond anything that I ever would have expected to come from him, especially since I've been away. This destroyer form is everything that Lord Beerus had taught him, Goku then continues. That raw intensity that Vegeta showed on Granolah's planet has been fully refined and honed in ways that I never thought would have been possible. And he's so much more dangerous and far more deadly than he ever was before, and the last time that I can remember Vegeta being like this was when he was shown becoming a Majin a long time ago, and it's truly amazing. With Akuma then having to chime in, I'm starting to wonder if that Destroyer Saiyan can continue to hold out at the pace which he continues to fight in currently. You can clearly see that his body is starting to get tired, but there's something about his will to punish Frieza that only continues to fuel his passion to fight. Interesting, with Budo then responding, "Oh, what a joke. All this because he wants to torture the lizard? Why not just end it all in one shot instead of trying to humiliate his victim? Oh, how annoying of these mortals, these Saiyans and their pride," with Yoshido then responding, "Now hold on there, Budo. Weren't you the same one who had Goku beat, but then ultimately had wanted to continue to make him suffer for daring to challenge us? I don't know here, Budo," with Budo then shouting, "Oh, don't you even dare, Yosh. That was different, to where these two on the other hand have a personal gripe with one another, whereas ours was to remind Goku of his place." Then it's really no different here, Akuma then went on to respond, except Frieza has been the direct cause of a lot of their problems here in the 7th, which is why this Vegeta wants to make him suffer for everything that he's done. Oh, curse him. I refuse to believe that this is truly happening to me, Frieza then went on to say to himself, especially not against Vegeta, so why can't I hurt him? Why isn't he dropping out of that form of his? Oh, there's got to be something that I can do to get him to break. A crack in his armor, a moment of doubt, something. I need to find the source of what drives him and use that against him if I hope to finally finish this monkey off once and for all. But how? Why is this destroyer form of his so different than what I've seen him use against me before? No one is invincible, not even the gods themselves, Frieza continues. Vegeta must have some kind of a weakness to this power that he is using, and I must find out what it is before it's too late. That serum I've taken must still be able to grant me more than what I am shown wielding now against Vegeta. And if Goku's abilities were also passed down into allowing for me to use it, then I must do what he did and relax. If that stupid no-good rotten monkey can pull out miracles out of his circus hat, then surely I can be able to do what he did, and that's wield the same power that he wields. I must. And if I can relax myself to the point of potentially being able to wield this, then it's lights out for Vegeta once and for all. But I can't do it if I'm under this much stress. I must find a way to relax my mind and my body if I hope for this to work. To which upon mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta now shown attempting to kick Frieza, with Frieza now being shown vanishing, was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "What are you doing, you fool? Are you sleeping? You're dreaming if you think that I'd let you take a nap during the middle of our battle." But then, it was only from out of nowhere to Vegeta's side where a stray energy blast was now shown striking Vegeta in the face, with Frieza then responding, "Don't grow too confident, Saiyan. every strength has a weakness, and although your power is great, Vegeta, so is my intellect, and intelligence is what always prevails in the end, monkey. So you may have the edge now, but war is a game of patience and strategy, and I intend to play it out until the very end. My ancestors conquered entire galaxies with an iron fist that ruled over all, while your race of brain-dead apes were still learning how to harness fire, Saiyan. So you can puff your chest out all you want. In the end, the innate superiority of my race will be the deciding factor in our battle. I was born to lead, to reign supreme over everything, while you were born to kneel, serve, and most of all, obey, Saiyan. And it is the inherent genius of my species that will ensure my victory, just as it always was when we waged war, Vegeta. Remember the days when I stood over you all, Vegeta? Well, history has a delightful way of repeating itself, because today will once again only prove to be another day in where I do it again. It amazes me to see how quickly you've forgotten the hierarchy of the universe, and so here's a reminder. You might have ascended beyond the gods, but the universe has always favored my kind over yours. So do yourself a favor and remember your place as my slave, Saiyan! But then, it was only during the middle of Vegeta being shown having to endure each and every single one of Frieza's attacks to where Vegeta had now gone as far as to power up, with Beerus then responding, "Yes, just like that, Vegeta! Remember what you've learned about channeling your pain. You are far above such feeble things, and so now humiliate that bastard and show him why you are above all of his best efforts of trying to destroy you. Over my dead body, you monster! Your pathetic attacks are nothing compared to the power of a destroyer, Saiyan! Destructive Storm!" Hey, wait a minute, Primal Goku went on to chime in. Where have I seen that technique be done before? Oh wow, but of course! I knew that looked familiar because it is! That was one of Nappa's moves when he went and used that against us! Wow! Well, who would have known that Vegeta would use this now and refine it to suit his destroyer form? Wait, what is this wave of energy and where is it coming from? Oh no! It's that same technique that he used against our fusion! Black Frieza then went on to shout, to which seconds later within that moment, as Vegeta's destructive storm was now shown having to overtake Frieza completely, was when Beerus went on to chime in. Well, who knew that I'd be so into a battle like the one that I am watching take place now? And I love every second of watching that little worm suffer. That's what he gets for attempting to defy the natural order of the universe without being put back in his place. Oh, bullseye! Yoshido then went on to quickly chime in by shouting, "Who would have guessed, right? Because just when you thought that this mortal couldn't be any more interesting, he goes and pulls this attack from out of nowhere. Now, how much more can this black lizard be able to take is beyond me, but I will say that by watching the Destroyer mortal beat this creature down like this is very entertaining." To which upon mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta now being shown teleporting in front of Black Frieza as Frieza was making his way towards Vegeta was when Frieza then went on to shout, "Oh, it's a trap and he launched me upwards on purpose, and so what's he planning? I have to hurry and attack him now before he tries to do the same to me. Oh, what choice do I even have here? I have to try, and so what was it? How did it go? Damn you. Oh, yes, yes, now. Thank you, Goku. Now perish within the blinding light of your fellow Saiyans' attack. To which even despite Vegeta being shown having to oversee Frieza firing off a Kamehameha, by no means was Vegeta willing to back down from this, because even as Vegeta was now shown dashing towards the Kamehameha was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "Just look at how desperate you are, as if using Kakarot's Kamehameha will do anything to stop me. Well, bring it. I'll show you how meaningless your efforts truly are," Vegeta then went on to shout. "Stolen attacks will never work on someone as as experienced as me. In which, shockingly enough, within that moment with Vegeta being shown having to smash right through Frieza's Kamehameha was when Frieza went on to respond, "Oh, he's coming and my attack did nothing. There must be more to that serum that I've taken than what I'm using now. And so I have to try or else he'll just keep coming. I was instructed by my men and with the data I've collected that I need to relax in order to move freely. Oh, it has to work. It's my one and only shot if I hope to get rid of him for good. Oh, now come on, monkey, teach it to me. How did you do it against Jiren? How are you able to relax your spirits? Breathe and become one with the universe. The ultimate power of the gods shall be mine to also have. I see him. Breathe and allow one's body to move on its own. To focus and let go," Frieza continues, "as I was told, grant me this power so that I may rule over everything forever." To which seconds later, from out of nowhere to the shock and dismay of everyone having to oversee this, was when Frieza's body was now beginning to slowly but surely move on its own in avoiding Vegeta's attack, with Beerus having to then shout, "Wait a second now, just hold on, what? Did he just... Whis, did you see that too?" "Oh dear, yes, sadly I did," Whis responds, "and this comes just as much of a shock to you as it does with me," with even Vegeta responding, "What? But that's impossible. Was that what I think it was?" In which, shockingly enough, with mastered Ultra Ego Vegeta now shown attempting to strike Frieza again, only this time for Frieza to be shown avoiding each and every single one of Vegeta's punches, was when Akuma then went on to chime in, "Hold on there, that can't be possible for a mortal to effortlessly be shown obtaining and using. Did this Frieza manage to tap into using the power of Ultra Instinct?" with the Grand Priest responding, "Why yes, I'm afraid, but it's not something that Frieza was able to learn on his own, so it likely comes directly from the serum that he's taken, but I do wonder if he knows how to use it and how to control it," as even a shocked Goku went on to respond, "Whoa, you've got to be kidding me. I see it, but I just can't believe it. Frieza was able to tap into using Ultra Instinct on top of this black form of his? Wait, but something seems to be off with the way he's handling it, so could it be?" To which, in the meantime, as Black Frieza was now shown having to uppercut Vegeta before being shown having to knock him down below, was when Beerus went on to then chime back in, "But that can't be right. Frieza is far from calm and relaxed to be capable of using such a technique, so that's cheating." "Interesting," Whis went on to then respond, "for it's like it was when Moro copied Maris and able to use his Ultra Instinct, but I want you to look a little closer, my lord. Do you see it too?" with Beerus responding, "See what? What are you trying to have me so? Now I see it, Whis. Interesting, for it's as I thought it was," with Yoshido chiming in, "So even the lizard is able to wield Ultra Instinct now? These mortals, I tell you. But I will say that it only makes me want to fight them all the more they continue to surprise me with these tricks that they keep playing." Yes, and while the serum might have allowed Frieza into a glimpse of being able to use the power of Ultra Instinct briefly, the Grand Priest went on to chime in, it's clear that he doesn't possess the knowledge or the discipline to truly make this into being what becomes a part of him forever, and that much you will see. To which, in the meantime, when then going back to Frieza and seeing Frieza about to use another one of Granola's techniques against Vegeta, was when Frieza then went on to comment, "This ought to finish you off, or at least at the bare minimum knock you right back down to size and out of that egregious destroyer form, Saiyan. You made one very fatal mistake before engaging against me, Vegeta. This is not going to be my execution, it's going to be yours, and it'll come by my hands, just as it's always been since the very beginning." In which, with Frieza now being shown having to rain down a storm of energy blast on Vegeta, was when Beerus went on to respond, "There's just no way that this slimy little sneaky Frieza was able to actually tap into using that level of power, Whis. And so whether whether he has it now or not, he shouldn't have been able to gain any sort of access into being able to wield it. Well, about that, the Grand Priest then went on to quickly respond. Now, although it's a little tough to say at the moment, we are either moments away from witnessing a true spectacle take place or an absolute tragedy unfold. As Frieza then went on to respond, I can't believe it. What an incredibly indescribable and amazing power. What I just experienced is almost intoxicating for me to bear, and so this was what the power of Ultra Instinct feels like. And with the way my body had just moved freely on its own like that, it's almost too good for it to be true, but I've finally done it. Well, what are the odds, Vegeta? Now, who would have seen this coming, especially now that I am able to wield such power? I've always been a cut above the rest in this pathetic universe, and this here only goes as far as to prove as to why that is. And here you thought that I wasn't going to take you down, Vegeta. Well, tell me then, who's laughing now, you filthy monkey? Oh, the delicious irony, wouldn't you agree? And with Vegeta finally out of my way and knocked unconscious, this only now just brings us both back right to where it all began. Just you and me, Goku. Ultra Instinct versus Ultra Instinct, the true battle of the universe's mightiest, only your fate's already been sealed, God Monkey. And if you thought that I was dangerous before, just you wait until I start using your own Ultra Instinct power against you. So shall we then? I've been looking forward to this for a very long time, and I couldn't think of a better way to end your life than by using your very own power against you, and I can't wait for it. So let's do this, circus monkey. Who will it be that will make the first move here, you or me? With Goku then responding, first of all, whoever said that you were able to now use Ultra Instinct permanently here, Frieza? You're delusional to think that a power like that can be so easily stolen and mastered in battle with the way you're putting it. And secondly, whoever said that I was your opponent? As far as I'm concerned, you're not out of the woods just yet, and so you might want to take a look down beneath you and see it for yourself, Frieza. Your fight with Vegeta is very much far from over, and deep down, you know this isn't over between you both. And if you don't believe me, well then look down, with Frieza then questioning, what did you just say? What do you mean by I'm not able to use it permanently? According to who, Saiyan? And what are you babbling about for me to look down for? Vegeta's already... No, but I saw him go down. And I saw him hit the ground and not fly back up and attacking me. So then how am I able to still sense his energy rising like this? He couldn't have taken an attack like that and just stand back up as though nothing happened. To which, surprisingly enough, back down beneath the smoke as Vegeta was now shown having to rise back up was when Vegeta then went on to respond, you know, I'll give you credit here, Frieza, which is something that you will never hear me say, but for a moment there, I actually felt those attacks of yours. But unfortunately for you, it wasn't enough, and I'm still standing. I've let you live long enough only so that you could truly understand the magnitude of your failures and to further show you on how inferior you truly are compared to me, you scum. Did you truly think, even for a moment, that someone like you would be able to wield and use the power of the angels without losing sight of the importance behind what it takes to use it? You are only continuing to fool yourself, Frieza. I could have massacred you the moment we started fighting, but I held back on purpose, Frieza. And I held back because I wanted you to truly see firsthand and understand that you will never be my equal usual no matter how hard you try and best me. And here you thought that you were actually winning. What a joke. You better hold on to whatever's left of your pride, mighty Emperor, because it's the only thing that you have left. Holding back against you was a choice. I wanted to give you a sense of false hope in allowing for you to think that you were winning when you never were. And seeing the fear in your eyes right now makes it all worth doing. But I don't understand. Why was I then only able to use Goku's ability to wield Ultra Instinct momentarily and not be able to keep it? Oh, what did you do to me, Vegeta? The serum should have granted me full control over it. And so why can't I use it against you right now when I need it? Why is it gone? And that's the price you pay for allowing your arrogance to speak for you, Frieza. That serum you've injected into your body is likely very volatile now that it's coursing through your veins. And do you want to know why that is, you worm? Because you're trying to achieve a natural evolution by relying solely on stolen power in order to reach it. You've awakened the fury within me that not even the gods have seen, and you are now left without any way out. Your destruction will be marked as a testament to the strength of my will to bring about and restore both honor and glory to my fallen warrior race, Frieza. And there will be nothing of you that will remain, neither here or in Otherworld. And for that, I vow in the name of my father, my race, and my Saiyan people that I will obliterate you once and for all, Frieza! In which within that very moment, as Vegeta was now shown having to make his way towards Frieza, was when Beerus then went on to shout, "That's right, Vegeta! Destroy that worthless excuse for life and carve your name into the history books by liberating yourself of the decades of pain that Frieza has caused. Annihilate him by using everything you've learned, and don't you dare stop until there is nothing left of him remaining. Do you understand, Saiyan?" To where that was exactly what Vegeta was then shown having to do, because with Vegeta now being shown having to unleash a fury and having to beat Frieza down was when the Kuma then went on to chime in, "This looks to be it from what I can tell, and the Destroyer Saiyan appears to be going all out by leaving nothing behind in order to succeed. And without Frieza's ability to somehow tap back into using Ultra Instinct, he's finished." With Sekiro responding, "It's just as I thought. I was able to foresee the coming danger that was, only to look deeper in seeing that Frieza was simply incapable of managing to maintain such a power, and it backfired. And with his body falling apart along with his mental concentration fading, there will be no escape from what's about to happen in a few moments." Well, Lord Beerus, it looks like your student has finally done it, and in a very successful and very impressive fashion too, and so well played. Vegeta did of course learn from one of the best after all, to which upon Vegeta now shown getting behind Black Frieza was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "You could never extinguish the fire that continues to burn within my heart. You never had the strength to win, and you never will." In which with Vegeta now being shown having to completely blast Frieza now from behind was when Vegeta then went on to continue, "And despite having all of this so-called power, you were always known to have ruled through fear and vengeance, and where did that get you? You never stood for anything greater than your own selfish, arrogant-driven self-interest, which is exactly why you will die as a result of it. And I find it quite amusing that you would claim to know real power, but watch. Allow me to now show you what true power feels like. The final chapter of your miserable life will be written by me." As this now looked to be it, because with the gigantic shockwave now shown having to emanate with everyone having to observe this, was when Budo then went on to respond, "Took that mortal long enough, but at least he was now able to get whatever amount of suffering that he could out of this Frieza before finishing him. Such fascinating creatures that these Universe 7 mortals here are," with Akuma responding, "I second that, and for a mortal warrior to bear a power that rivals or even surpasses that of a god of destruction like this, and is able to use its destructive nature so easily, is to be acknowledged," with Beerus then responding, "Now that's the kind of fury that I wanted to see come from my very best student. And so now this just leaves one thing left to be done, because with Frieza dropping back down into losing his black form, Frieza is without a chance in the world here here unless he is able to somehow escape, but I doubt that will be the case. And there it is, Vegeta went on to then shout, an arrogant tyrant now reduced to nothing more than a dying, whimpering little lizard at my feet. This was never meant to happen this way. What have you done, Vegeta? Wait, just hold on for just a moment. Don't. Oh no, you don't, you little worm. You and I are already well beyond the point of no return, Vegeta then went on to shout. This was what you wanted, didn't you? How many times have you returned hoping to destroy us only to fail? And so not only will you fail like you failed before, but this is going to be the last time that you ever try it again. Yes, good. Nothing puts a bigger smile on my face, with the exception of Bulma's cooking, of course, than by watching one of our own eradicate those who wish to play the role of God in this universe. And that is quite honestly something that I cannot and will not stand for, especially after learning about what Frieza had wanted to do if he had his way, with the Grand Priest responding, relying on external sources for power such as the serum that Frieza was shown having to take will always result in impermanence, but I will say, to see Vegeta, a mere mortal Saiyan, display qualities that some of our very own gods of destruction have yet to fully embrace is very eye-opening. The art of destruction isn't just about raw power, the Grand Priest continues, but it's about intent, purpose, and resolve, and Vegeta's spirit mirrors that even more than some of the other destroyers. In which, with Vegeta now being shown having to touch on down with Frieza attempting to crawl away, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, look how the mighty have fallen from their thrones. Every atrocity that you were shown committing against my people will be revisited and given back to you tenfold. You were looking to be revered across the multiverse as the one true Omni King and ruler of all, but watching you roll around on the ground like this, struggling to fight for your very life, is just another reminder of the universe's imperfections. Wait, Vegeta, don't do this. Just take a look at how pathetic your existence continues to be, tyrant. As if crawling anywhere will save you, Vegeta continues. There is no corner in this universe that you can try and crawl into that I won't be able to find you in, you coward. Well, talk about cutting the tension, eh? Yoshido then went on to respond. This is all now starting to get a whole lot darker than what it just was, with all of the chaos and such. And quite honestly, I just can't get enough of it. Hey, Lizard Man, you're not just going to let that Saiyan do this to you and get away with it all, are you? I have to try and make a break for it while I still can. But Vegeta, on the other hand, was by no means going to allow for Frieza to crawl away and letting this happen, because the moment Vegeta was from there shown having to grab onto Frieza's tail and being shown having to drag him back was when Vegeta then went on to continue, I don't think so. Running away, Frieza? And here I thought that you were above such cowardice, and yet look at you. Oh, how the times have changed, haven't they? You're no warrior, Frieza, and you never were. You think I'd forget about all of the things that you've done to me? Not a chance, especially since I knew that one day you'd be back for us, just as you've said it yourself before. And so I knew that in my heart that whenever that day would come to where you did, was going to be the day when I'd be standing in your way to finish what you had started a long time ago. You used to revel in our pain and rejoice in our suffering, and now look at where you are. How does it feel to be on the receiving end of the very same agony that we all felt all those decades ago, Frieza? History will forever remember this moment as the mighty emperor who ruled with an iron fist, who was then brought to his knees to beg for his life, but not by an army, but by a single Saiyan's unwavering resolve to have you pay for everything you've done, Frieza. And whatever is left of your dying legacy will be one of a tyrant who was brought down to his knees by the very race that he sought out to extinguish. How ironic. We are all alone now, Frieza, just you and me as fate had intended. No Ultra Instinct, no army, no King Cold, no Cool cooler, and through your family's absence, there will be no one left who will mourn you. Get your disgusting leg off of me, Saiyan! How could you stand there and be so foolish as to celebrate a delusional victory prematurely? Have you already forgotten on who I am at my very core? Frieza then went on to question. Have you already forgotten on just how far I'd go to get something done? No matter how dire the circumstances are, I always find a way to survive. I've defined death many times before, and this too will be no different, so how could you possibly know? You ask on why I'm so sure, Vegeta then went on to question. How could I possibly know? It's simple. The fear that I see when I look into your eyes paints a picture of absolute certainty. I've made sure to study you for many years, and I've come to understand you a lot better than how you may understand yourself. Lord Beerus told me about the time where he instructed you to destroy planet Vegeta, but even before his orders were passed down, you were going to eradicate my people anyways, whether you were told to or not. And so there is far more for you to pay up for than you realize, Fallen Emperor, with Frieza then responding, and just who exactly do you think you are to be telling me on what I'd have to pay for, monkey? You, Prince Vegeta, a cold-blooded and ruthless killer, wants to condemn me for my actions? Never, you ridiculous buffoon. For you and I both know that I'm not done. I swore on everything that I stand for to seize the day and wipe you all out for good, and I will fall behind in upholding my vows. But maybe, just maybe, you might have forgotten on just how far I'd go to ensure that I get something that I want done to be done. Ask yourself, do you truly believe that there are certain lines that I surely wouldn't dare to cross? To achieve my endgame, there is no line that I won't cross and no risk that I won't take if it means achieving my goals. And if I intend to live and fight another day, then all that would mean is that I will have to risk it all, including my own life, to make sure that yours and Goku's ends forever. So you, along with every living creature who walks the face of this planet today, can all go to hell without me, Saiyan. In which, from out of nowhere, similar to the events that have transpired during Resurrection F, with Frieza now being shown placing his hand down onto the ground, was when Frieza was essentially looking to annihilate the entire planet as a whole, but by no means was Vegeta going to allow for this to happen, because with Vegeta now being shown having to clutch onto Frieza's arm was when Vegeta then went on to respond, like hell if I'd allow for that to happen over my cold and lifeless body, you won't. Well, talk about a close call there, huh? Yoshido then went on to comment, say, was that psychopath down there actually about to set himself into a cold oblivion if it meant taking out the entire planet along with him? What an idiot. Does he not know that the rest of us would easily survive? To which, in the meantime, with Vegeta now being shown having to create an energy blade in his hand by lifting up Frieza by his arm, was when Vegeta then went on to comment, you've always been a snake for as long as I've known you. You managed to slip by and get away with destroying planet Vegeta and every Saiyan on it, but you aren't going to snake your way into getting away with destroying this planet too. You've sown the seeds of your own destruction, Frieza. Now watch as they consume you. To which, as Vegeta was now shown completely having to cut apart Frieza's hand, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, this is in the name of every Saiyan who perished along with the entirety of what we called home on planet Vegeta. Yes, excellent, Beerus then went on to quickly shout. This was the mindset that I wanted you to uphold, Vegeta. This was what I wanted for him to be like if he wanted to learn under a god of destruction. To which, with Frieza now being shown having to once again collapse on down to his knees and screaming in agony, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, how does it feel to be left this vulnerable, Frieza, to know that you are at the mercy of another. I want you to reflect on that because that's exactly what it was that my people had to experience before you destroyed them. You were so distant from reality that you actually believed that no one could touch you. You believed that you were so powerful and so wise that you couldn't be defeated no matter what it was that anyone was able to do. Well, look at how wrong you were, Frieza. And as once my people fell, so falls the almighty Emperor of the universe. You don't deserve the chance to continue to live. You've lost that privilege a very long time ago. It's a bitter pill to swallow, isn't it? The realization that you are not as invincible as you thought is starting to slowly eat away at your very core, Vegeta continues. You've always believed that you were above any and all possible consequences to your actions, but just take a look at how wrong you were. It's absolutely pathetic. You never showed mercy to any of my people, including those who never stood to oppose you, but only did what you had demanded for them to do, only to be destroyed in the end. So why should I show you any mercy when you were never shown doing the same for any of them? I could never, Frieza. Look at me, you coward. Do you even recall the names of all of those races that you've extinguished or tried to do in your past? Or were they simply all just numbers to you? Saiyans, Namekians, Sorelians, Earthlings, and thousands of other races had to watch and endure the pain that you were shown having to put all of them through. You're a cruel and heartless monster, Vegeta continues. Your empire was once very vast, but it was built on the backs and on the bones of those whom you've enslaved. And my people were no exception. You made me into this, Frieza. You created the monster that you see staring back at you, and now you're scared. You left scars on me that will never heal, Frieza. Wounds that are a constant reminder of the carnage that you left behind. I was but a child, and yet you robbed me of my destiny because you were scared. You have stolen everything and you left me with nothing behind. My father did all that he could and you slaughtered him. But even in death, his legacy and the legacy of our mighty warrior race still lives within me. And that is something that you can never destroy no matter how many times you try and do it, you annoying pile of trash. And for you to even dare speak on my family the way you did is something that you will never live to regret, you weakling. But even then, despite Vegeta being shown having to slap Frieza around, by no means was Frieza going to back down, as Frieza then went on to quickly respond, "Oh, the hell with your stupid family, Saiyan! If you wish to fight on behalf of your dead people, then why don't you go and join them in the afterlife?" To which, from out of nowhere, as soon as Frieza had now attempted to death beam Vegeta across the face from point blank range, was when Frieza then went on to continue, "As if I care on what you had to go through, monkey!" But, as expected, this itself did not work, as through the smoke, that was when Vegeta went on to then respond, "You always resort to deception, don't you? Your cowardice knows no bounds even when staring death in the face. Your actions reek of desperation, and it's a sign that you know what's coming, don't you? And that's because you're scared. And just like the arm you've lost, this arm will now go too." In which, from out of nowhere, the moment Vegeta was then shown having to grab onto Frieza's arm, and from that point being shown then breaking it, was when Vegeta then went on to continue, "I want to hear you scream for mercy. Now beg, you fool! Beg for your life to be spared, just as those had once begged you to do the same. It hurts knowing the truth, doesn't it, Frieza? You will never know peace because once I'm done with you, there will be nothing left of your twisted legacy. Our history goes much deeper than you may go as far as to even realize, and it all comes to an end right now. From our battles on planet Namek to Earth and even Granola's homeworld, I will make you suffer for it all. Now beg before your maker, Frieza. Do it! Beg for mercy before I start tearing deeper into you, and so now do it right now!" But then, it was only to the shock of everyone there where Primal Ultra Instinct Goku is now shown teleporting behind Vegeta and grabbing onto his shoulder by then responding, "That's enough, Vegeta. This isn't like you. This is not who you are at your very core, so don't stoop down to his level like this. He's had enough." What's Goku doing? Is he crazy or what? Beerus then went on to quickly shout. Is he trying to talk Vegeta out of this or what? With the Grand Priest then responding, "Well, that was unexpected, but hold on now. Let's just see where this goes because now I'm intrigued. I understand your pain and where it is that you're coming from, but this is not the way, Vegeta. You are better than this. There's nothing that Frieza could possibly do to win here, and so the day is yours," Goku continues. "The best form of revenge is showing Frieza that he hasn't broken you, that you've risen above the horrors that he's put you through. I get it, Vegeta. Your history, your pain, but you've won. Frieza is in no position to defend himself, and so this is not the way." With an angry Vegeta then responding, "Oh, how dare you try and stop me, Kakarot? Did you already forget the things that he's put us through? Get a grip and wake up, Kakarot. Take a good hard look at who we're dealing with here. How many more times must we go through this nightmare with him, Kakarot? How many more times must we watch as he tries to destroy everything that we love? He enslaved our entire race and treated us as mere tools for his ambitions, and you want me to let all of that go? Never, Kakarot. I told you that this would happen ever since the day that you decided to bring him back for that tournament of power. And since then, he had seen everything. And after seeing everything with his own eyes, that was when he knew that he wanted to have everything. So how could we just stand there and allow for that to potentially happen? I warned you that he would return even before we fought Broly, but you still didn't get it and offered to let him go. And even despite the fact of when I warned you that he could one day possibly return with a new form, you were still so carefree about his return. So for once in your life, put aside your naive hope for change and see Frieza for the threat that he truly is. And if he is allowed to be kept alive, then there's no telling on what he will try and do the next time we see him, Kakarot. Frieza's very existence is a danger to all life that is not worth gambling on, and so the only way for this to end is for him to be erased forever. And I won't stand by and watch as history repeats itself if Frieza is allowed to leave, Kakarot. He's crossed the line for the last time, and if you wish to let this monster go, then you'll have to get through me in order to do it. Do you understand? Take a good hard look at him and see it for yourself. He isn't going to change, and for that matter, he will never change, Kakarot. The only difference between what happens then and what happens now is his destruction, Kakarot. You've given this freak one too many chances before, and I will not stand here and watch you give him another. Look into my eyes and tell me that I'm lying, Kakarot. You know this bastard won't stop until we are both dead. As Frieza then went on to address Goku by then responding, "Surely you don't believe him now, do you, Goku? You of all people should understand the value of change, don't you? So give me the chance to then show you by letting me go," Frieza then surprisingly continues. "I'm no threat to either of you now, aren't I? And so if you allow for this to happen and if you let Vegeta destroy me, then who will ever be there to challenge you and push you to your limits? Who will ever be there to give you the fight that you Saiyans just so desperately desire? You need me, Goku." Well, this is interesting, Whis went on to then chime in. It seems like Frieza is trying to play into Goku's kindness as a method of trying to escape, with Beerus then responding, "You've got to be kidding me, and of all the people that he would try and manipulate, he picked the best one too. Oh, the hell with this. I will not have that bastard try and sway Goku's mindset into allowing for him to be set free." But then, it was only just when the Grand Priest was now shown having to stop Beerus was when the Grand Priest went on to respond, "You will remain where you are, mighty destroyer, and let this play out as fate had intended for it to be. We will wait and see what this Saiyan will choose." As Frieza then went on to continue, "Just think about all that could be done if you let me go, Goku. I know that deep down you want for me to live because you know that I am the perfect person to help drive you in battle. And so you know it to be true. And if you decide to let me go, then and I promise never to come back onto this planet ever again. Instead, we will do battle elsewhere, I promise. Remember how we once stood side by side against Jiren and won? There's a certain poetic beauty to all of that, don't you think? I know you want to, and you know that deep down, I am the ultimate driving force that pushes you into becoming the strongest that you can possibly be, Saiyan. So what do you say? Please let me go, and I promise never to come back onto this planet ever again. As Goku then went on to respond, you truly do have a way with words, especially when you try and twist them to better suit your own agenda, Frieza. And although I wish the circumstances were a bit different, you are honestly too far gone and simply too dangerous to be kept around any longer, Frieza. Goku surprisingly went on to then respond. I tried looking past your evil ways twice before, but you've shown me that you are just simply unwilling to change for the better. And it's not because you can't, but it's because you don't want to. Every time I've let you go, I've hoped that you'd find a better path to walk down, but each time that we end up running into you, nothing changes and you only continue to prove me wrong, with Frieza then shockingly responding, What? But that's not true! You can't do this and allow for Vegeta to have his way here with me, Saiyan! This is not like you! With Goku then responding, You say that this is unlike of me to do, but you're failing to forget that I've given you quite a few chances before. You yourself even once said that I was simply too soft to actually go through with making all of the toughest calls, remember? Well, maybe it's time that I am the one who ends up proving you wrong here, Frieza. And I do honestly wish that things were actually different with you, but even while you were trapped in hell, you still had it out in ending me and Vegeta despite being held in place and given a chance to reflect. But instead of all of this, you still decided to use that time in only thinking about destroying us. I'm sorry, Frieza, but you left me with no other choice, and this time you've gone too far with your actions for me to look the other way, Goku continues. And so whatever you're about to do, try and make it quick, Vegeta, to which upon Goku now being shown having to step away was when Vegeta then went on to respond, Well, would you look at that? It seems like your heart hasn't gone too soft on me after all. Finally, at least now you are able to see the truth, and don't you worry one bit, Kakarot. I'll make sure that this ends now. Your fate has been sealed, Frieza, and you are left with nothing and no one at your side. As Frieza then went on to shout, Wait, no! Where are you going? Get back here, you monkey! You can't let Vegeta do this! You need me, you brainless animal! You can't let this be my end, so come back and tell him to stand down! Oh, don't walk away from me, Saiyan! You need me, Goku! Your reign of terror ends now. This is retribution for every life that you've extinguished, all of the Saiyans that you mercilessly slaughtered, and all of the worlds in which you've decimated. It's time that you faced your final judgment, and this time you will never return. And don't ever dream of resurrecting again, because unlike before, this time you will cease to exist, never to be seen or brought back ever again. On my honor and on my pride, this is where you will be erased. With Frieza then shouting, No, wait, hold on, Vegeta, don't do this! Just listen to me, don't do it! This was never supposed to happen! Wait, don't do it! Now disappear forever, Frieza!
Okay!
To which within that very moment, as Frieza's body was now beginning to vibrate before being shown having to be erased, was when Frieza then went on to shout, No! What are you doing? No, my body! Vegeta, no! This can't be the end! Don't do this, Saiyan! Please spare me and don't do this! An eye for an eye, you monster. This was the very life you've destroyed, and so good riddance. Goodbye, Frieza.
No, curse you, Vegeta! No!
as this was now finally it, because with Vegeta now shown having to successfully be able to Hakai Frieza from existence was when Yoshido went on to chime in. Well, talk about a dramatic ending, but that was amazing, and for a second there, I thought that those two mortal Saiyans were about to fight for the sake of determining Frieza's fate down there too, which I was personally waiting to see, but alas, at least their battle is finally now over and done with. And what's even more representative of his power, Akuma then went on to chime in, is seeing how Vegeta there is able to fully use the destructive capabilities of Hakai, which have only ever been used by gods of destruction before and no one else. And so if anything, he deserves praise for doing what he just did, and so he is to be acknowledged. As Vegeta went on to respond, I've waited for this moment for so long, and now I can truly move forward without ever having to look behind me ever again. Bulma, Trunks, Bulla, I've secured a future for you all to live freely without the need to fear for your lives, and most of all, thank you, Kakarot. Thank you for finally understanding on what needed to be done and allowing for it to happen. As Beerus went on to then comment, what an incredibly phenomenal display of raw destructive power. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted him to go and do. Excellent, yes, and so now goodbye forever, Frieza. May history remember this moment as your last, with Whis responding, well, and that settles that. And what an amazing battle it was, my lord, with even Goku now having to reflect back onto Frieza by saying to himself, it's a shame that it had to end like this, Frieza, as I wish that you would have seen the error of your ways and changed for the better, but instead, you decided to remain the way you were no matter the cost until the very end. You would have been an amazing training partner for both me and Vegeta if you've changed, and dare I say, even the perfect rival for us both too, but now that you're gone, you will always live on within my memory. As Vegeta from that point finally then went on to power back down by saying to himself, the chains of my past have finally been shattered, and the dawn of a new era, one without Frieza's shadow looming over it, is finally upon us. And this isn't just my victory, but the victory of every Saiyan whom you've ever wronged, Frieza. This was for them. My pride was forged in the fires of resistance against you, and today it shines brighter than ever, especially now that you're gone. And from the ashes of old vendettas, I'll make sure to shape a new destiny for our people, one with honor and nobility just as it was on planet Vegeta. And so may my people rest in peace in knowing that the darkness that once stood over them has now finally been erased forever. To which in the meantime, as Goku was now shown having to vanish without Goku even knowing what was happening, was when Goku then went on to respond, hey, wait a second, what's going on? What an incredibly amazing battle from both you and Vegeta, Goku. I would even dare say that it was a very surprising one as well, with Beerus then responding, that was a very fine display, Saiyan, and here I didn't think that you had it within you to actually go ahead and get the job done against Cooler, but I guess I was wrong, including when you tried to reason with Frieza before Vegeta had erased him. Well, I guess that you truly have grown since the last time I saw you after all. And with Frieza and his brother out of the way, Vegeta went on to say to himself, what's going on up there with Kakarot now all of a sudden? I better go and see it then, with Whis continuing, I couldn't be any more proud of you, Goku. You have come so very far and have grown in more ways than just one, and so I am truly happy to have witnessed all of it firsthand for myself to see. Very well done, Saiyan, very well done, with the Grand Priest chiming in, yes, and I second that in fact, as it truly was a monumental battle to watch take place indeed, but Goku, there are matters of which immediately demand for your absolute and undivided attention, as this does of course happen to involve you after all, and so now tell me, did you happen to fully understand the conditions of which were told to you if you had decided to leave the ongoing tournament and go back to Earth? Your dedication to both your home and your loved ones is admirable, however, rules are rules, and the rules of this tournament were clear, the Grand Priest continues. Departure means forfeiture, Goku, and while your intentions may be noble, the overall framework of this competition cannot be swayed by an individual's choices. And since you were told about this prior and had still decided to pursue your endeavors by going back onto your planet, the Grand Priest continues, you have hereby, as a direct result of leaving, forfeited your position in this tournament, Goku, and no matter the nobility behind your actions, a tournament tournament is a space of strict codes and rules that must be followed at all times until the very end. And let's not forget one very important thing here, Goku. It was you who had originally wanted to meet the 5 strongest in the multiverse to begin with. When you agreed for this tournament to take place after being presented with the idea of testing yourself against the 5, a contract was forged, Goku. A contract that demands for you to fully be able to compete and complete, and since you were unable to do so, the end result is that of forfeiture. This wasn't just any ordinary tournament either, Goku, for it was the embodiment of cosmic power, the Grand Priest continues. The multiverse operates on a set of important rules, Goku, and engaging with deities so nonchalantly disregards those very same rules, those in which also come with dire repercussions. In your journey, you've encountered many beings, but with gods, every action, every word, and every interaction comes with the price, no matter how big or how small. And as I had explained to you long before the tournament began, Goku, if you found yourself losing in the tournament that you yourself had agreed in competing in, then you would be destroyed, Goku, and if my word is not kept, then you'd be allowed to have authority over those rules, which I cannot and will not allow to stand, and so therefore, I'm sorry, with Yoshido then having to question, hey, wait a second, did I just hear that right? So, we won? But hold on, will the Grand Minister actually erase the Saiyan for inadvertently leaving the tournament to help save his planet, or will he allow for him to remain, with even a surprised Takiro responding, it's true, and the Grand Minister isn't bluffing, but I didn't think that this was going to be how our battle would end either, and so he's really going to do it, with the Grand Priest then continuing, your spirit has always been daring, Goku, but there are lines that not even you are allowed to cross. A mortal such as yourself cannot simply just go around and do as they please without bearing the consequences to your actions, and so understand that this isn't any sort of personal punishment towards you, but the consequences of your choice to willingly abandon a tournament that was ultimately meant to test you. The Grand Minister, if I please may, Whis went on to then quickly intervene. Is there anything that I could do that would help alleviate such actions from taking place? Whis went on to then question. I wish to vow on behalf of Goku's actions and would like to see if there is any other way to prevent this from happening, with the Grand Priest responding, though I respect your request to try and vouch on Goku's behalf, Whis, I'm afraid that if the law of the gods are not upheld, then this would only further blur the lines between what is allowed and what isn't. It's okay, Whis, Goku then went on to quickly intervene. You've always looked out for me, but this time I need to own up and take full responsibility for my own actions, and especially after leaving a tournament that I agreed to have happen, and so this isn't your fault, Whis. You've taught me so many things along the way, and one of them being to always be accountable, Goku continues. And if this is truly what needs to happen, then let this be how it's done then, with Vegeta then having to quickly respond, well, surely you can't be serious here, are you, Kakarot? You'll be leaving everything behind, you fool. This can't be how your story ends, is it? But he's right, Vegeta. I knew what I was getting myself into, and so I just can't go and cross those lines that were placed in front of me if I was never meant to even cross them. And I appreciate you for always having my back as well, Vegeta, but some things are just meant for us to face alone, and so this here is one of those times for me. And so I'm ready, Grand Minister, with the Grand Priest then being shown having to extend his arm out by responding, I never intended for things to end this way, as you've honestly have grown on me throughout the years, but I must do what is required of me in order to uphold the laws of the multiverse, and so I'm sorry, Goku. Hakai. In which within that very moment, as Goku is now shown smiling with his body shown having to vibrate, was when Beerus then went on to shout, But why would you then agree if you knew the risk behind what would happen if you lost, Goku? Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you allow for this to be the end of your journey, you idiot? Now, how could you just have agreed to do this if you knew if something went wrong, then you'd be erased? It's okay, Lord Beerus. You and Whis have been great mentors and great friends for so many years, Goku then went on to respond. And no matter what happens, just know that I have always cherished every moment with you guys. And if this is what I need to do in order to uphold balance across the cosmos, then I'm willing to do what needs to be done. So thank you both for everything that you have done for me, Vegeta, and for our planet here on Earth, and I will never forget you. And as for you guys, Goku then went on to continue, you two were inarguably the toughest pair of warriors that I've ever had to face in my entire life with the exception of Yoshido and Takira. And for what it was worth, it was an honor to have met and shared a ring with you both, and so thank you guys. And I really hope that there isn't any hard feelings between us, as I wanted to thank you guys in being the driving force that pushed me into the very edge of my limits and beyond. You are both truly one of a kind, and that goes for the two of you as well, Goku continues. Yoshido, I really wish that you and I had more time to battle because you were truly out of this world, and you, Takira? Well, I'd be lying if I said that you weren't the toughest opponent that I've ever had to face in my entire life, and I do wish that me and you could have finished our battle, but for what it's worth, and since I have prematurely left, you win, and so thank you for giving me a chance to share the stage with you when I did. I will never forget either of you, and Vegeta, well, you have grown so much since the days where you and I had first met each other, and quite honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better partner and better friend throughout my journey than you. I've cherished our time together, Vegeta, every battle, every challenge, every evolution, and every obstacle that we've faced. It's been an honor to stand alongside and beside you throughout all of it. Take care of this planet and everyone on it, Vegeta, and thank you for a lifetime of memories, and goodbye, old friend. To which, as Goku is now shown being completely erased, it was only just as the dust was now beginning to settle all around Vegeta was when Vegeta then went on to shout, "No, Kakarot, wait, he's gone." The multiverse thrives on balance, the Grand Priest went on to then respond, and as regrettable as it was to erase Goku, the rules that have been set forth by the Omni Kings must be upheld. No one is above the cosmic laws which balance the scales of life, and so it had to be done. And so I understand your sadness, Whis, especially after how much you've been able to grow with Goku over the years, but as you may know through your very own experience, that certain lines are not meant to be crossed, especially when it involves mortals. Now, our duty is to ensure the fabric of existence remaining intact, and difficult decisions, no matter how heartbreaking as they may seem, are necessary for the greater good. I can't believe that he's really gone, Takira went on to then respond, and for his demeanor to remain as relaxed and carefree even in death is what truly makes him fascinating, with Yoshido then questioning, "Okay, so hold on now for just a moment. So with Goku now gone for good, and with his declaration of defeat now resulting in our victory, does this mean that we'll get to go back into our own respective realms now and not see the light of day of facing off against that Saiyan ever again, or what?" "Why, how could you be so reckless, you stupid Saiyan? Why did you leave when you knew that this would happen?" Beerus went on to then shed tears by responding, "Damn you, son Goku," with even Vegeta now having to ponder on Goku's erasure by then responding, "I can't believe that you're truly gone. Why would you do this, Kakarot? Why did you agree to come back and help me, you clown? You weren't supposed to die like this. There was still so much more that was left for us to do." But even then, shockingly enough, it didn't seem as though this was now over, because with the Grand Priest now being shown having to hoist his hand up in the air was when the Grand Priest then went on to comment, "Well, I hope that he's learned his lesson, and so now let's bring him back." To which within that very moment, as the Grand Priest was then shown having to snap his fingers, was when the Grand Priest then went on to continue, "Sometimes the most profound lessons are those that are felt and not just spoken on. So to merely speak on such consequences is one thing, but to manifest them even temporarily is another. You are very lucky, to say the least," the Grand Priest went on to continue, "and so I hope that you are truly able to fully understand this lesson, Goku. Now return to us at once." To which upon, as Goku is now shown having to reappear, that was when Goku went on to question, what's happening? Wait, I can see my body again? Am I alive? Or is this some kind of a dream or something? Hey, I can see all of you again. So does this mean that I'm somehow alive? Is this really happening? Well, do feel free to wipe your tears, Destroyer. And yes, you are Goku, the Grand Priest went on to respond, and so welcome back. Such an experience, however brief, can be a turning point for any being, no matter how powerful they are, Goku. And so I do hope that you've learned your lesson here with us to never overstep your boundaries when dealing with gods. Well, what do you know, Akuma went on to then comment, the minister actually wanted to teach the mortal a lesson and brought him back. back. So it seems like our ventures with Son Goku isn't over after all then, with Budo responding good. Because now this just means that we just have another shot at breaking him again, with Goku then having to respond, but I don't understand, so that was just a lesson? So does that mean that I'm not going to be erased anymore as a result? Correct, the Grand Priest responds. You are safe for now, Goku. Sometimes a brief journey into the void is enough to realign one's perspective in reminding them of the rules in place. And I hope you now understand on just how important these laws are, Goku. This action was meant to serve as a vivid reminder not just to you, but to all those who dare defy the laws that govern us, Goku. And what I did was not done out of malice, but out of necessity. The laws created by the Omni Kings are absolute, and so I hope that you don't go around and call for things that a mortal such as yourself is by no means in any sort of position to call. Do you understand? And while I respect your zeal for battle and growth, there is a wisdom in knowing one's limits, the Grand Priest continues. You are an amazing warrior, Goku, and I trust that you grasp the lesson that was just embedded within since you're back, to which as Goku was now shown shaking the Grand Priest's hand, it was just as Goku was now beginning to thank the Grand Priest was when Goku then went on to respond, and boy did I, Grand Minister, and so thank you for bringing me back and for also giving me a chance to battle against the multiverse's strongest warriors. And I learned a lot about them and about myself, and so I can't wait to see what lies in store for all of us next time, and I look forward to it, with the Grand Priest responding, your passion for battle and your respect for our cosmic laws are very admirable, Goku. You've indeed left an indelible mark on us all, and so I look forward to our next encounter, for I'm sure that this will not be the last time that you see me or any of the strongest either. To which little did everyone now know, having to take place above them as a gigantic portal was now beginning to open, that was when Beerus went on to question, say, what's that up there? Is that a portal of some kind? Wait, no, don't tell me that Frieza is somehow still alive as well, is he? What's going on up there? With the Grand Priest then responding, well, actually, Destroyer, that's not Frieza at all, but in fact, I think our ruling kings have finally decided to weigh in on the matter, since I'm sure that by now they must have been very eager to find out as to what was going on here since I've been away. In which seconds later, within that very moment, that was exactly what was now shown having to transpire, because with both Omni Kings now having to be shown making their presence known was when the future Omni King then went on to shout, hey, look, there they all are. I told you that they were probably here. I see, says the present Omni King, and look, there are so many of them here too. Hello, Grand Minister. We've been looking everywhere for you, with Whis then having to respond, well, what do you know? It seems like the Omni Kings have been in search for you, Grand Minister, and I'm quite surprised that they didn't think to actually look here first in order to find you, with the Grand Priest then responding, well, it has been quite some time since I was last with them, and so it's better to check to see what they want. Hello, sires. It's a pleasure to see you both again, with Budo and Akuma responding, wait a second, since when were there two Omni Kings, Akuma? It's been thousands of years since we've last seen them, but since when were there two of them? With Akuma responding, I don't recall, but it's best not to upset either of them, for you know what would happen if one of them is annoyed, Budo. So try and keep your head on straight. With the future Omni King responding, we finished the latest video game that you gave us, and so we had nothing else better to do for quite a while, and so, well, we went looking all over for you but couldn't find you. Where were you this entire time, Grand Minister? With the Grand Priest responding, oh, did you now? Well, that's very good, and I was actually here with our 4 friends. You, of course, may remember the 4 who are a part of the 5 strongest in the multiverse, don't you? In which with both Takira and Yoshido now shown having to bow at the same time was when Takira and Yoshido went on to respond, Supreme God King Zeno, we are honored to be within your presence, sires. Welcome to Earth. With the present Omni King responding, I remember you. It's been a very long time, Yoshido and Takira. Thank you for your welcome. With Goku then having to chime in, hey there, Zennies. It's been a really long time since we last saw each other, and so it's good to see you both again. No, it's Kakarot, knock it off, Vegeta then went on to whisper. Show some proper respect before you make them angry. They probably don't even remember you, so what are you doing? With the Omni Kings then having to go as far as to surprise Goku with a fist bump by responding, oh wow, it's you, Goku! It's been such a long time! What are you doing doing here, and why do you look so beat up? Yeah, the future Omni King chimes in. We've missed playing with you, but why do you look so hurt and damaged? Well, I live here, and so that's why I'm here, but one of the many reasons as to why I look so beat up like this was because we went through an incredible battle here on Earth, Goku continues. And before that, I was actually a part of a really amazing tournament that had me going up against the 5 strongest in the multiverse over there. We had to end it a bit early though, but boy oh boy was it a special one. It was with those guys over there behind you, in fact, with the 2 Omni Kings then responding. Can you believe that Goku was here in a battle against the 5 strongest in the entire multiverse and we missed all of it? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? With the future Omni King responding, I know, and I wish there was a way for us to change things and go back to watch it, but I think I am. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? With the present Omni King responding, I think I am, and so we should have them do it all over again. Oh great, now look at what you've just started, Kakarot. You should have just kept your big mouth shut, Vegeta went on to then continue. Damn it all. Oh, now you've done it, you idiot. With Goku then responding, well, I didn't think that we could, well, just do anything again because everything is pretty much over and done with, but I guess that we could try if everyone isn't too tired, you know, with the present Omni King responding, well, if we can't have an all-out battle right now, then how about we have another tournament with all of you that were shown fighting in it, so that way we can all see you fight again. Yeah, the future Omni King then went on to respond, and let's make this tournament even bigger than it was before. Let's make it the biggest ever, with the present Omni King chiming back in. Yeah, let's do it, and let's also feature fighters from all across the multiverse and even across other realities and dimensions too. Let's go and get the 5 strongest to come back with the Grand Priest and have them fight against everyone. That means everyone will get to fight. Mortals, gods, angels, and maybe even us. As the others could not believe it, because with everyone having to overhear this and now being left absolutely shocked was when Beerus went on to chime in. God, they want to go and do what now? What have you done, Goku? Oh, why did you have to tell them about what you were doing? With Akuma then responding, did they just agree to draw forward warriors from all across space-time itself? Including other realities and other dimensions too? With Budo responding, they're absolutely serious with doing it too. And so then that just means that they will likely expand into the Omniverse if they want to create a tournament that large, Akuma. Well, as lovely as that sounds, the Grand Priest went on to lean in by responding, it's best to do that first so that way this doesn't turn into some kind of a multiversal disaster. And if you want, we can even call our next event the Tournament of Power 2, or whatever other name that you wish to give this event, sires. As a shocked Beerus went on to utter, another tournament that even happens to include gods of destruction from all across time and space? Oh, Goku, you buffoon, just look at what you've started. Why, Goku, you'll destroy us all. Why? Well, that all sounds like a great idea, you guys, Goku then went on to shout. How truly awesome, the Tournament of Power 2, or whatever other name that you guys wish to give it, but say, when exactly do you Zennies wish to have this actually take place? It's not anytime soon, I would imagine, right? Cause some of us here are pretty much beat. I second that, in fact, the Grand Priest went on to respond, for an announcement would first need to be held so that way all of these warriors from across the multiverse and beyond can prepare themselves for. Hey, I have an idea, the future Omni King went on to respond. Then let's have this take place 1 year from now. What do you think, present me? That would give every warrior from across the Omniverse a chance to train and get better. Hey, yeah, the present Omni King responds. I agree. So let's go and let everyone know right now. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this all unfold. Oh, this is going to be so good. With Goku then questioning, so what's an Omniverse, you guys? With Whis responding, well, to understand the vastness of what the Omniverse is, I want you to imagine every possibility, every choice, and every path that was not taken or altered, with each spawning its own separate universe. The Omniverse is like a boundless sea of mirrored universes, each reflecting a different reality, with some being a little familiar and with some being extremely different, Whis continues. continues, imagine it being similar to what you saw with the Elder Sage within the Mirror Realm when you first walked inside, Goku. The Elder Sage and the Mirror Realm with alternate versions of ourselves and more, Vegeta questions? What is Whis talking about here, Kakarot? With Goku responding, well, more on that a little later, Vegeta, but man, I've got to take you there because now I'm curious on what you would see when looking at your reflection, Vegeta. The Omniverse is a testament to the infinite potential of existence itself, the Grand Priest went on to chime in, and as you step into it, remember that every warrior that you will ever meet along with every scenario that you encounter is but a reflection of the limitless nature of the reality that exists here. For every choice that you have made in this reality, there is an alternate reality where you might have done something differently. The Omniverse is the grand collection of all of these realities wrapped into one. What did you just say? Vegeta went on to then shout. So there are others who are just like us, good or bad? Whoa, wait, really? Goku went on to then question. So that means that there could be different versions of us out there with different levels of power and such that we are all blindly unaware of? Why yes, there are, the Grand Priest went on to then respond, but more on that on a later time. There is much for us to go and prepare for, especially if such an event like this is to take place, and so how about we all go home so that way we can all plan out the next great tournament out in private, the Grand Priest continues. So what do you say, sires? I also have a brand new video game for the two of you to play, and it's the latest Budokai Tenkaichi. And so right this way, my lords. It's best if we allow for everyone to rest and come back at a later time. There is much for us to talk about, especially if we're going to expand this into being the biggest tournament ever, right? With both Omni Kings responding, yeah, I guess he's right, so let's go and come back later. But all the while in the meantime, when then going back to Goku, it would only now surprisingly appear as though Takira had some words for Goku, as Takira then went on to address Goku by then responding, Mortal Warrior, remain where you are, for there is something that I must address with you, Takira says. Even though we never had the chance to resume our battle, for what it's worth, you and I will settle the score in finding out which one of us is truly the stronger warrior, son Goku. But I will say that of all the warriors that I've seen throughout my lifetime, you have surprised me the most, and were the only one outside of the angels who was actually able to give me a fight that was worth taking seriously, and so your potential is vast, Goku. And the next time that you and I battle, do make sure that prior to us engaging in a rematch that you hone your angel form to the point where you never need to drop back down in order to use it again. I have faced gods and mortals alike, Takira continues, but you, Goku, you stand as the testament to the idea that limits are meant to be broken over and over again. You still have a very long way to go if you wish to match us in raw power without the need to ever transform, but we will see how far you go once we meet again, so train hard, Saiyan, for your angel form will need every ounce of power that it can dish out against me the next time we meet, for it will be I who will win, and it will not be done via forfeiture this time. So in the meantime, take care of yourself, warrior. It was an honor to have battled with you, for you have earned my highest respects, mortal, with Goku then responding, well, thank you for giving me your respect, Takira, as you also have my highest regards as well. And hopefully once I get the hang of having to use my angel form a little better, that'll be the day where I'm finally going to beat you and win, and I can't wait. And I truly do appreciate your help and the chance that you took on me when you saw that angel power within me when I didn't, and so to that, I simply want to say thank you. Goku went on to stick his arm out by responding, thank you for everything, and I look forward to fighting you again, Takira, with Takira asking, a handshake? You continue to surprise me, mortal, until we meet again, Goku. Perhaps maybe we'll even see one another a lot sooner than expected too, but we will see. And I look forward to our next encounter, Goku, with Goku uttering, well, now that you know where we typically are, you can come here and visit us whenever you'd like if that's the case, and I'll be right here waiting for you when you do, so thank you, Takira, with Takira then being shown having to turn his head and then responding, and as for you, if it were not for the trouble taking place on your planet, I take it that you would have accepted Son Goku's request to join him and fight me, with Vegeta responding, maybe I would have, but that's for me to know and for you to maybe one day find out. Takira, was it? I thought so. You are a very interesting creature, Vegeta. A different breed of warrior warrior that I haven't seen in a very long time. It's refreshing, in fact. And from what I saw come from you, you too also have my highest respects. Until we meet again, Prince Vegeta, to which upon Takira now shown having to leave was when the Grand Priest then went on to ask, alright, and it looks like that we're all set here and ready to go. Are the four coming with? Actually, just like Takira there, I'm gonna go and have a word with the Angel Monkey for a moment too, Yoshido then went on to ask, so don't leave without me. Hey Goku, not so fast. I've got something to say to you, so stay right there. Now I'll be honest, you are absolutely crazy, you know that? And it sucks that we never got to finish our battle. Well, it sucks for you because of course I would have beaten you, but you went and proved us all wrong with how you battled against us, and so next time, you and I are going to have our rematch and finish all the way with nobody to tag either of us out. And so I will say that you've earned my respect as well, Saiyan. And so now don't drop the ball next time or you'll never be coming back. With Goku then responding, well gee, thanks Yoshido. As I do hope that we also get to fight next time as well, only without anyone having to get in our way either. And so thank you for being open within our fight, which as Yoshido was now shown having to address Vegeta was when Yoshido then went on to shout, and as for you, oh, you got my blood pumping to fight earlier, and so I really like you. You seem crazy and explosive, just like me, and so if you are going to be anywhere to be found the next time that we're all set to fight, then I want a piece of that. Got it? Ugh, what is with this one? Vegeta then went on to respond. You're extremely annoying, you know that, but I'll gladly fight you the next time you show up too if that's what you want to do. Oh, lighten up, would ya? Why are you so grumpy? Come on, Saiyan. Come on, Saiyan. You know you want to pound it. Go on, mortal, do it. With Vegeta having to respond, no, now get away from me before things start to get ugly here. With Yoshido quickly responding, oh, stop it, Destroyer Mortal. I'm not scared of you, and so now bump it. Come on. We've got to go here, you know, and so I'm not going to wait around all day here while you leave me out here to dry, and so come on. With Akuma then having to also be shown addressing Goku by then responding, do not get the wrong idea here, Saiyan. You might have been able to best me within the moment, but you and I are far from finished. The next time we meet, you will lose, Saiyan, and you will lose just like you've lost to me before. And so even though you've shown me that you truly aren't as bad as how I originally thought you'd be, I will say this much and acknowledge the fact that you've earned my respect as a warrior as well, Son Goku. And so that's all that you will get, to which as Akuma was now shown using his magic and trying to fist bump Goku was when Akuma then went on to continue, and if you think that you've seen all that I can do in battle, then just you wait until the next time we fight. So this isn't a goodbye, but more like see you next time, mortal. With Goku responding, well, you yourself were an absolute monster out there when we battled, and so I've got to give credit where credit is due here. And so thank you for also pushing me in battle to the point where it was almost like a wake-up call, Goku continues. And if I didn't use your own chains against you, I don't think that there would have been a chance that I would have even beaten you, Akuma. And so thank you for an incredible fight and for being such an incredible fighter all around. And I look forward to hopefully having a rematch against you when we meet again. You, on the other hand, though, Akuma continues, though recently introduced to us, are a very gifted and extremely prideful warrior. And I find that to be rather interesting in seeing how different you are compared to Son Goku, with Vegeta then asking, yeah, and so what about it? And you're Akuma, I take it, right? The magician, huh? Indeed I am, but I am more than just a mere magician, Akuma continues, and so I hope that we see you around the next time the gods call for us to arrive. And I want to try you out myself and see what you're all about, Saiyan warrior. Think you can last? Without a doubt I can, Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, and so just be ready, because if fate intends for us to fight the next time we meet, then so be it, Akuma. That's the spirit, mortal warrior. Akuma then went on to fly on out by responding, and this just leaves Budo, as we are all ready to go now, to which as Budo was now shown making his way towards Goku was when Budo then went on to respond, oh, you didn't think that I would forget about you now, did you? With Goku then uttering, oh no, it's you. Hey, look, Budo, I really don't know what the issue here is, and so I just... Shut your your mouth, Saiyan. You know what my issue with you is, and so before you have the chance to fight anyone, the next time I see you, you'll be fighting me. Got it? And it'll be a fight to the death just as I expected for it to be, with Goku then responding, Alright, just take it easy, Budo. If a death battle is what you're really after, then I'll grant you that request, with Budo then responding, Good, because you owe me and I will not be humiliated like that again. Do you understand? I do, and here, to stand on my promise, let's shake on it and hope that we both have a good fight the next time we meet. Ugh, what is this nonsense? Fine, mortal. To which, as Budo was now shown having to shake Goku's hand, was when Budo then went on to continue, and for the record, you better not go back on your word, and as much as I hate to say this to your face, you've earned my respect in battle as well. But even with Budo now being shown pulling Goku in, was when Budo then went on to continue, but don't get the wrong idea here, Saiyan. We are not friends, and I will hold you to your promise. And if you even dare try to rob me of my moment against you, then I will obliterate you with no remorse behind what I do. And so that goes for you as well, Budo then went on to address Vegeta by then shouting, You're lucky that I don't break your face now for speaking to me with such disrespect when you first arrived, and so you're no exception, Saiyan. Because if you want some too, then I'll gladly use you as a warm-up before I crush your ally Goku. So consider this a warning, with Vegeta then responding, Well, it's kind of hard for me to take you seriously with that stupid thing on your head. Oh wait, that's just your ugly face. I don't care where you rank among the strongest, you rubbed me the wrong way the moment I laid eyes on you, creature, with Goku then having to shout, Vegeta, no, you don't want to make this guy mad. Oh dear, we may need to hold off there for a moment, the Grand Priest went on to then utter, because it seems as though we have ourselves a problem that Budo and Vegeta now find themselves in. Good, now let them slaughter one another, Yoshido responds. The rest of us want to go back home. In which, cutting in between both Vegeta and Budo before having to come to blows, was when Goku then went on to shout, Whoa, holy cow, take it easy, you guys! You're going to destroy the entire planet if you start fighting! Just calm down, you two, please! If anything, let's just save all of this for the next time that we are called forward to battle. This is not the time nor the place, with Budo then shouting, Change of plans then, mortal. Whenever we are summoned for this next tournament, you're mine. Do you understand? I'm going to make you eat those words, Saiyan. Then I'll gladly accept, Vegeta responds. Anytime, any place. I'm not scared of you. You may not be just yet, but I promise you that you will be. Just you watch when the next time we see one another, Saiyan, with Vegeta then having to turn towards Goku and shouting, What's your deal, Kakarot? Why didn't you move out of our way? I was ready to fight that bastard here and now, so what's the big idea, you idiots? Alright now, and that should be everyone then, the Grand Priest comments. Thank you all once again, for we will be in touch to let you all know about when this next event will be taking place, and so we wish you all the very best until we meet again, and so thank you all. May our next adventure be just as grand and just as memorable, and so until we meet again, Goku and Vegeta, and we will meet again soon, and so thank you all, and may you all take care of yourselves in the meantime, everyone then went on to shout. We will meet again soon and inform you all of the coming battle, as the Omni Kings then went on to shout, See you later, Goku! We can't wait to see you all again for our next big tournament! Bye-bye, everyone! With Goku then shouting, Hey, see you all next time, guys! Thank you! As Vegeta utters, what a day this was. But I'm glad that it's all finally over now and done with, which, speaking of, we aren't done here, Kakarot. Now you better start talking, because I now want to know about everything, including about what those transformations of yours are, and just how you were able to obtain this angel form of yours that you displayed earlier. It was pretty amazing to watch in action, wasn't it? Goku then went on to question. Well, there's a lot for us to get into, but I want to know more about that freaky looking form of yours as well, Vegeta. Well, just so you know right off the gate, so that way you don't get the wrong idea here, but if you were able to strive in achieving an angel form, then that only just means that I'm going to strive into finding another level beyond this one too. And so now quit holding out on me and start talking and tell me how you did what you did to go through and reaching it. now. Well, isn't this just great to see, my lord? Whis went on to then ask. They are already bickering and we haven't even settled in yet to talk about everything, but what a day it was. Did you find yourself enjoying everything, my lord? With an annoyed Beerus responding, oh, you do understand that Goku has doomed us all once again, don't you, Whis? Do you have any idea on what Goku has just gotten all of us into here? So, another tournament of power. Just when I thought I was out, that stupid Saiyan ends up somehow pulling me right back in. And now, look, a lesson is in order when we get back onto my planet, Whis. And you, have you lost your mind here or what, Goku? I ought to Hakai you for telling the Omni Kings all about what's happened, and not just here on Earth, but with the 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse as well. And with what they just mentioned, now I've gotta prepare to fight too. With Goku then responding, hey, take it easy, would you, Lord Beerus? I mean, I wasn't just going to lie to their faces and risk something even worse happening to us if they found out that I was lying to them about what happened. Oh, you moron. You have a point, I guess, but still, what do you plan to do about this situation now, Goku? I need answers now. Well, I could just simply train with Vegeta and get even stronger so that I could aim to win it this time, don't you agree? And besides, I'll be honest and say that your new Mastered Ultra Ego form is really scary, you know that? Goku went on to tell Vegeta. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that you were going to attack me for a second, but geez, you look freaky, Vegeta. Oh, that's rich coming from you of all people, Kakarot. For a moment while we were trying to push Cooliza's attack back, I thought you fell asleep mid-fight and were about to doom us all. Well, not with those eyebrows I wasn't, or lack thereof, because I mean, for a moment, I thought that we wouldn't have the need to fight Cooliza because you just scare him off with your freaky new form of yours and just have them split upon seeing it. I mean, you almost even had me scared there for a moment too, especially when you went all, I'm going to eat your soul and tear into your fusion the moment, but then it was only right before Goku could even go as far as to finish his sentence where Vegeta went on to then shout, oh, says you, clown! If you know what's best for you and would rather not want to find out on just how strong my new transformation really is compared to yours, then you better shut your mouth right now if you know what's good for you, Kakarot. Do you understand? Knock it off! Hey, geez, Vegeta, take it easy, would ya? I was just joking around with you. You don't have to go all purple destroyer mode on me and eat my soul. Well, at least everything is now finally back to normal, wouldn't you say, my lord? Whis went on to laugh by asking, isn't this just great? Now we can all go back home or go to Bulma's place for a nice snack to end the day, with Beerus responding, we're doomed, Whis. Doomed, I say. These Saiyans are going to be the death of me, mark my words. Oh, why does this always have to happen to me? I wish I was just in another universe because now they just won't stop. With Goku then having to tell Vegeta, and besides, if you don't want to start another fight with me here that you can't finish, Vegeta, with Vegeta quickly intervening, oh, you're one to talk, Kakarot. You couldn't even finish your own battles while I was fighting here. And so if you really want to get busy, then why don't you go and try me then, and I'll show you what my freaky transformation is really made of. Oh, will you two just shut the hell up already? You're giving me a headache, Beerus then went on to shout. It was only within the meantime, as both Goku and Vegeta were shown having to air out their differences, where it had now appeared as though an entity had seemingly enough gone as far as to now track them down and find them, as the entity went on to respond, so I was wrong to assume that every timeline has been eradicated from such worthless specks of so-called life. I was wrong to have overlooked the vast potential that these creatures have. How dare they continue to populate my world with such meaningless purposes to their existence? It almost makes me sick. And as I continue to grow hungry, these insects continue to scurry about, oblivious to their very insignificance in the grand scheme of all things that continue to exist. I find no joy in seeing the abundance of life that these creatures continue to fight for and fight alongside with. This only continues to confirm my very purpose as I watch over to see how many more realms and how many more timelines continue to thrive. And I will not stand for such life to continue thriving. Every soul shall crumble beneath the very weight of their own failure as the ashes of their very existence is scattered across the cosmos for my pleasure. This timeline appears to be the strongest I've seen in quite some time, which means that this will be the timeline that I destroy. The audacity of life to thrive and flourish under my watchful gaze in many alternate timelines is a sin, and such sins will not be tolerated and allowed to exist without it being eradicated by my hands. Each of them, mortals and gods alike, must be dealt with. Existence is a fleeting illusion, and I am that very reality that will shatter their illusions, as I am the only singularity with no other equal to oppose me. And I am the point at which all things cease to be, and resistance is not just futile, but it is inconsequential. And I now see that there are other worlds that I must clean. And with every star that shines, every world that teems with life, every destroyer and every angel who guards them, every mortal and every warrior will soon know true desolation. And we will not stop until you are all found, and once you are all found, then we will not stop until we've made sure that each and every single one of you are purged from history. And I have watched the birth and the death of countless worlds and the rise and fall of many civilizations, to which the one thing that they all have in common is that they all end the same, in silence and darkness, and your world will be no different once I arrive. I have gazed into the abyss, and I have seen the future, and it's void of all of you and filled with the perfection of absolute nothingness as it should be by my hands. The law of creation, the bounds of existence, they are all mine to manipulate and mine to control. And your attempts to stop me will be meaningless, as trying to halt the tides with your bare hands will ultimately backfire, for I have no equal. So you may take this moment to yourselves, but once we arrive is when your happiness will be turned into utter cries of mercy, and we will show you none. So enjoy your lives for as long as you are able to, for we will be seeing you very soon, and once we do, then I will devour your souls just as I did with those who came before you all. The histories you hold dear, the futures you dream of, and the present you live in will ensure that they are all whispers within the darkness, lost within the void. So enjoy your time together while you still can, because we are coming, and we are planning to rip everything away from you, as it was only right then and there now, during that moment, is where the entirety of the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse manga chapter finale then comes to a close. Now, I can't thank you guys enough for sticking on by, as this is the conclusion of the story involving the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse, but as I've stated many times before, there will in fact be a sequel, not necessarily anytime soon, but in the near future, because I have several massive projects, including a very, very big one, to which I'm going to be releasing next year as well. So until everything is wrapped up and over with, only then are we going to see the continuation through a sequel of the top 5 strongest in the multiverse. And you can make no mistake about the fact that Goku was able to shine, Vegeta had his big moment, to which a lot of people had wanted to see, and with everything having to be shown culminating and coming full circle by the end, with the top 5 not only being shown giving Goku respect but Vegeta as well, you can only imagine now as to how many seeds have already been planted for the sequel story, and I can't wait to introduce that to you all once it's ready. So again, I want to thank you all so much for joining us and being here throughout this entire journey, and if you want to be the first to see all of the exclusive manga stories that I have lined up right after this, as well as additional content, and being able to gain access to essentially all of my soundtracks, art, PNGs, mangas, and so much more, then I do encourage for you guys to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/UnrealEntGaming, to which I will go on ahead and leave that link located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, because not only are we going to have so much more lined up for you guys, to which this is only going to be the beginning of so much more to come, but now that we see this unknown entity being able to locate and find Goku, Vegeta, Whis, Beerus, as well as all of the top 5 strongest warriors as well, you can only imagine as to number 1, who this entity is going to be. It's going to be a very unexpected character indeed, and number 2, if you by any chance believe that this is over, oh no, this is only going to be just the beginning of so much more to come. So once again, I do want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank you all so much for your time, kindness, support, and patience, as well as also thanking all of my Patreon members, because without you, none of this would be possible. So again, a big thank you and huge shout outs goes out to all of you, because without your motivation, without your encouragement and support, we would not be able to do this. So once more, thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for being here. To which, once again, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, then I do encourage for all of you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more. Thank you all so much for joining us, and with that being said, I will be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next upcoming video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a terrific day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.